Welcome to Rider Q&A, where we answer your sport bike questions from around the world. We've got some really good ones for you today, including one about gearing. Ask away in the comments. We might pick your question for future videos, and always remember to ride safe and wear your gear. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Rider Q&A, and here we answer questions from our amazing community from all over the world. So, if you guys have any questions that you would like answered in an upcoming episode, ask away in the comments below, and who knows, your question could be picked just like some of the ones today. We're starting off with a question from Sam. He asks, if you had to choose one brand of motorcycle for a track day and could only buy a new bike, which model would you choose? Now, this is a great question, but it's very difficult to answer because there are so many different options out there, and they all do perform differently at the track. However, I will say that if I had to choose just one brand, it would probably be Yamaha. The reason why is because they make the best beginner bike available, in my opinion, in the R3. It's affordable, lightweight, has a ton of aftermarket support, and most importantly, it's a blast to ride. There are quite a few tracks that actually utilize a smaller displacement class for racing, and it's really fun to compete in. The R3 is also extremely easy to modify, making it a good choice for people who want to improve their skills on track without spending a lot of money. Plus, it's just such a good bike overall that I honestly don't think you could go wrong with it no matter what level of rider you are. But let's be honest, everyone wants to ride something bigger and better than the R3 eventually. Luckily for us, Yamaha makes a ton of different bikes that are perfect for track days. The R6 is still one of my favorite middleweight sport bikes ever made, and it's super competitive even today. Then there's the R1, which is Yamaha's flagship superbike. It's incredibly powerful, agile, and has a ton of top-level race pedigree. If you're looking for something to take to the track and compete at a high level, then the R1 is definitely a great option. But you can never go wrong with a YZF. They make some of the best sport bikes out there, and there's always a model that fits what you need. This next question comes from multiple riders. They asked, what's the best way to get into motorcycle racing? Now, this is a question that I get asked all the time. And it's a tough one to answer because there are so many different ways to get into motorcycle racing. It all depends on what you're looking for and what your goals are. For example, if you're a complete beginner, then I would recommend taking a motorcycle safety course first. This is a great way to learn the basics of riding and get some experience before you get out on the track. You'll also learn how to properly put on your gear, how to ride safely, and how to maintain your motorcycle. Once you've completed the course and have a little bit of experience under your belt, I would suggest getting a smaller sport bike like an R3 or a Ninja 400. These bikes are perfect for beginners because they're lightweight, easy to handle, and not too powerful. You can take these bikes to the track and have a ton of fun without feeling overwhelmed or intimidated. Another great option is to join a track day program like the one offered by CMRA. These programs are designed for novice riders like yourself, and they give you the opportunity to learn from experienced coaches in a safe environment. You'll get to ride your own bike on a closed course and work on your skills with other riders who are at the same level as you. No matter which route you decide to take, the most important thing is to have fun and enjoy the process. Racing motorcycles can be extremely addictive once you start competing against yourself and seeing how much you can improve. So, if you're thinking about getting into motorcycle racing, then don't hesitate. It's an amazing experience that I highly recommend to anyone who loves motorcycles. Our next question comes from David. He asks, how do you balance your motorcycle when stopped in hot weather with hot tires? My front tire keeps wobbling. Now, this is a great question, and it's actually a pretty common issue for new riders to deal with. Fortunately, it's also fairly simple to fix. The main reason why your front tire is wobbling is because your throttle is most likely on. Even a tiny amount of throttle will cause the front wheel to wobble when stopped. To prevent this, simply turn the ignition key to the off position or pull in your clutch lever until the engine stops running. Once the engine is off, your front wheel should be perfectly still. If it's still wobbly, then you may need to adjust your idle speed screw located on the side of your motorcycle's carburetor or fuel injector body. This next question comes from multiple riders. They ask, does your bike require maintenance? And what kind of maintenance does it require? And how often? Now, this is a great question, and it's one that every new rider should ask. After all, the last thing you want to do is neglect your motorcycle and then have something go wrong. Fortunately, most modern motorcycles are pretty low maintenance, but there are still a few things that you need to keep up with in order to keep your bike running smoothly. For example, you'll need to change your oil and filter regularly. I usually do this every 3,000 miles or so, but you'll need to consult your owner's manual for specific recommendations. You'll also need to check your tire pressure and replace your tires when they start to get worn down. Check your tire pressure at least once a month and before long ride. And when it comes to replacing your tires, you can use a penny to check the tread depth. Insert a penny into the grooves of your tire. If the top of Lincoln's head is level with or below the tire tread, then it's time for a new set of rubber. You'll also need to replace your brake pads when they start to get thin and your brake rotors if they get damaged or worn down. Check your brake pads at least once a month. And if you see the wear indicator, then it's time for a new set. Brake rotors, on the other hand, should be inspected more closely after every track day or hard ride. If you notice any warping, cracking, or scoring, then it's time for a replacement. Now, those are just the basics. And there's a lot more that goes into maintaining a motorcycle. However, if you keep up with the basics, then you should be able to avoid most problems. Plus, it's not that hard to do, and it doesn't take that much time. So, don't neglect your motorcycle! Take care of it, and it'll take care of you right back. That was the last question we have for you today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope you learned something new. If you did, please leave us a like and subscribe for more content just like this. We love doing these Q&A sessions because it allows us to interact with our viewers and hear what you guys have to say. So, if you have any questions for us, leave them in the comments below, and who knows, your question could be featured in a future episode. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.